everybody. Welcome to my schoolhouse. I'm Mrs. Skulski. Today we're very excited to meet a special letter N guest. N says, I don't know if you'll be able to guess who this creature is, though, because he's come a very, very far way just to visit with us today. As always, I'll give you 3 clues to try to guess what it is. Here's the first clue. These creatures live in the Arctic waters of Canada, Greenland, Norway, and Russia. Our guest has come from the Arctic waters of Canada. The clue number 2 is their skin is speckled gray or black to help them blend in with their icy surroundings. And the third clue is that this creature is actually considered a medium-sized whale. Do you have any guesses? Let's meet our special letter guest. Are you down there?
I'm coming, Mrs. Skulski.
Oh my goodness. Hello.
Hello, Mrs. Skulski. How are you?
I'm really well. How are you doing?
I'm great. Hi, everybody. I'm Nestor the Narwhal.
Nestor, wow, we have a narwhal with us today.
That's right.
Wow. Well, Nestor, I'm pretty sure that the students are going to be nervous because you normally live in the Arctic waters and you're not in water, and so that's not good for you.
Well, don't you worry about that, Mrs. Skulski. Narwhals have a unique adaptation that allows us to slow our heart rate and conserve oxygen while we're diving.
But you're not diving.
True. But also remember that ocean letter guests get to swim around in the invisible tank here at the studio. The magic of television.
That's true. Well, Nestor, what I find most interesting about narwhals, and I must say I'm amazed by you because you're really unlike any creatures of the whole world.
That's right. As a matter of fact, sometimes we're called the unicorns of the sea. Do you know why we're called the unicorns of the sea, Mrs. Skulski? I'll give you a hint.
I think, is it because of your horn?
Yes, except it's not a horn. It's actually what we call a tusk.
A tusk? Like what elephants have?
Yes, but it's actually a little different than that.
Really? Tell us more.
Okay, well, first, as you can see, tusks come straight out of our heads.
Yes, we can all see that.
But what's super special about my tusk is that it's actually a big tooth.
Wow!
And although it would appear to be coming out the top of our heads, it actually grows right out of the top of our upper lip.
Are you kidding?
Nope.
Maybe we can get a little closer to the camera so that our friends can see that. Of course, we can't see inside Nestor, but it is obvious once we get close that his tooth actually indeed does come out of his upper lip right here. Not the top of his head, which is actually over here. Thank you, Nestor.
No problem. And it's a huge left tooth. My right tooth is actually small, and it usually sits just inside our mouths where people can't see it.
That is so bizarre.
But what's even stranger,
what?
Is that most teeth, even your teeth as humans, have a very hard outside and a soft inside. But with narwhal teeth, the opposite is true of our tusks, as we call them, even though it's a tooth.
You mean that your tusk is soft on the outside and sensitive on the outside, but hard on the inside?
That's right. Feel it.
Oh, it is soft.
Well, if you think that's amazing, listen to this.
Okay.
Narwhal teeth can grow as long as 10 feet.
10 feet long?
Yes, although it doesn't grow that long for all narwhals. but it is possible we have very long tusks because they grow throughout our whole lives.
Really? They never stop growing?
Nope.
Wow, that's cool.
And what's really cool is that if you look closely, you'll see that it actually grows in a spiral to the left.
Okay, can you explain what spiral means?
Sure, it means going around and around.
So, like, maybe you could just be still for a moment.
Oh, sure.
So, like this. It does, it spirals to the left. Wow. Of course, it probably looks like it's to the right from your perspective, but that's because we're on camera. So, because it's your left tooth, is that why it spirals to the left?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Is your tusk special in other ways?
Yes, it can bend about a foot before it breaks.
Wow. So it can bend the length of a ruler before it starts to break.
Yes, it's strong and flexible.
Wow. So, Nestor, what is your tusk for?
Well, it's a mystery that humans haven't quite figured out. Of course, I know because I'm a narwhal, but I can't tell you because I am sworn to secrecy about it.
Oh.
But I can tell you what the humans think it might be for.
All right.
Well, some think that we might use it as a weapon to protect ourselves from predators or fight with other narwhals or simply to defend ourselves. But still others think that male narwhals use it to make female narwhals have crushes on them. Interesting, right?
I'll say.
And still some think that we use it to show off to other narwhals how tough we are. The longer the tusk, the tougher we are. That's the theory.
But you won't tell us which one's correct?
I can't. It's a secret in the narwhal world. Sorry, Mrs. Skulski.
It's okay, I guess.
But I can tell you that our tusks are full of nerves and that it can sense things from the water, like the pressure and the temperature and even the saltiness.
Wow, that's really incredible. So your tusk is kind of like our skin or our taste buds because it feels and it tastes.
I suppose so. But not all of us have tusks.
Oh, why?
Don't know. That's just the way it is. Most animals that have tusks, like elephants, the males and females all get tusks. With narwhals, all the males get tusks, but only 15% of the females get them.
Really? So for every 100 narwhals, only 15 of the female narwhals, that is, have tusks?
That's right. And if a female does have a tusk, it usually is much smaller and less noticeable. No one quite knows why.
Wow, that's a little strange and confusing.
It is, but it's also part of what makes us so mysterious.
Well, we've talked a lot about tusks now, so let's talk about something else, okay?
Okay, like what?
Like, how much do narwhals weigh?
Some of us weigh up to 4,200 pounds.
What? 4,200 pounds? Well, the average adult male man weighs about 200 pounds, I guess that would be an average. So a narwhal can maybe weigh as much as 21 men put together?
True.
And how long do you grow?
Well, it varies, but some of us grow quite long.
Well, how long?
17 feet.
17 feet? Amazing. And like any other creature, baby narwhals are much smaller, right? When they're born, and then they keep getting bigger as they grow.
Right again. And a baby narwhal is called a calf.
And
How long do narwhals live? Oh, they can live up to 50 years in the wild.
That's pretty good.
I think so.
Nestor, you are very well spoken.
Oh, thanks.
Do you communicate with a lot of other narwhals?
Oh, sure. We are very special creatures, but we don't speak in English to each other.
Oh,
No, we communicate with other secret things like clicks and whistles and sounds that, well, we do them in a series, so it's like a pattern.
oh, how interesting. You're very friendly, Nestor. I assume you have a lot of friends.
I do. Hundreds of friends.
Hundreds of friends?
Yes, our pod has many, many narwhals. You might know one of them, or at least seen him.
Where would I have seen him?
Well, do you know the movie Elf?
Yes.
Well, one of my friends played the narwhal in that movie, Mr. Narwhal.
Oh, I think I remember him.
Yes.
So your pod, you mentioned a pod.
Yes, that's the name for a group of narwhals, a pod. Some pods have just a few individual narwhals, but others can have hundreds. Mine has hundreds. I'm happy about that.
I see. And what do you all do together?
It depends. Sometimes we play, sometimes we hunt for food, sometimes we migrate.
Wow, that's a lot of activity.
I guess.
What do narwhals eat?
Shrimp, squid, cod, halibut, and other small fish. We are very good swimmers. We can actually dive as much as 5,000 feet underwater.
Wow, don't you get cold?
Oh no, narwhals have a thick layer of blubber that helps us keep warm in the cold waters of the Arctic.
I see. Well, you also mentioned that you like to play. I'd love to see narwhals playing.
Oh yes, we have lots of fun. We like to leap out of the water and slap our tails.
Oh my goodness, I'll bet that's quite a sight to see.
I suppose it is.
But you also mentioned migrating. Migration is something that animals do every year. They'll move somewhere according to the seasons, and the seasons changing. Isn't that correct?
That's right.
So you live in the Arctic, though. Where would you migrate to?
Well, during the months of April and May, narwhals like to travel in large groups. Sometimes we travel hundreds of miles together to where the water is closer to the land, where there isn't any ice.
Oh, I see. But why?
Because our calves are born in May and June. Water near the land is much warmer and safer for the mothers and the newborns.
Oh, well, that makes sense. And then you go back to the icier waters in the fall?
Yes, icier and deeper water. Sometimes, well, anytime between late September and mid-November.
Wow, that's so interesting. Nestor, we sure appreciate you coming along and introducing yourself to us. My goodness. Being willing to come all this way just to visit with us today?
Anytime. I really enjoyed it. I hope you learned a few things, Mrs. Skulski.
I sure did. I hope you did too.
Me too. Well, it's wonderful to be here, but it's time to head back to my pond. Goodbye, everybody. Would you like to come for part of the journey with me, Mrs. Skulski?
Oh, okay, I guess. Thank you, Nestor. Thank you for joining us, friends. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Nestor, I wanted to ask you something.
Oh, what's that, Mrs. Skulski?
Well, I wanted to ask you what you know about unicorns.
Oh. Hi, everybody. This is Nestor the Narwhal. Thanks for meeting with me today. If you enjoyed meeting me and want to meet more special letter guests, please subscribe below. Bye.